Welcome back. Today, we're diving right into a clear, engaging overview of what's new in Claude Code's 2.1.221. We're going to take what might look like a dense, technical changelog and translate it into the practical, everyday benefits you actually care about as a developer. Because look, if you've been working deeply with agentic AI tooling lately, you know the landscape shifts incredibly fast. Staying on top of these updates, it's absolutely crucial for maintaining a smooth and secure workflow.
Honestly, like to think of this update as the cleanup and lockdown release. We all know the chaotic reality of working with agentic AI, right? You're building complex features, the AI is iterating at light speed, and things can get, well, pretty tangled, both on your screen and under the hood. So version 2.1.221 steps in as this sort of hero release that removes that daily workflow friction while quietly but very firmly tightening up your local security.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our roadmap for today. First, taming VSCode tool chaos. Second, upgrading sandbox security. Third, essential quality of life fixes. And fourth, workflow and plugin improvements.
Section 1. Taming VSCode tool chaos.
If you do long agentic coding sessions inside VS Code, you know this exact pain point. You've probably watched your screen get absolutely hijacked by endless tool logs. It's so distracting. But this update introduces the focus view, and it fundamentally solves that visual clutter. It collapses all of that verbose tool output behind a neat, expandable per-turn summary. You aren't left in the dark, though, because there's a live indicator showing you exactly when a tool is running. It's a massive quality of life win. It keeps your workspace clean, but keeps you perfectly informed about what the agent is actually doing. And using it is built for speed. You can toggle this new focus view instantly with a quick keyboard shortcut, Control plus Alt plus F. Or if you're a command palette person, just run the Claude Code toggle focus view command. This gives you immediate control over your interface, letting you switch between deep debugging logs and a totally clean workspace in a fraction of a second. So a cleaner user interface is fantastic, but it naturally leads us to a much deeper question. As we hand over more autonomy to AI tools in our terminals, what about keeping your local environment safe? Let's pivot from front-end design to the very real anxieties of running autonomous code. Section 2. Upgrading your sandbox security. This is where the update really flexes its enterprise-ready muscles by locking down vulnerabilities across different operating systems. For the Linux and WSL users out there, you're getting a brand new mask option for sandbox credential files. Basically, the flow works like this. In step 1, sandbox commands read a sentinel. Think of this as just a safe, dummy copy of the credential file, or even just the parts matched by an extract regex. Then, in step 2, the sandbox proxy steps in. On the way out, it safely substitutes the real credential value. Why does this matter? It means your sensitive credentials literally never travel through the sandbox in the clear. And if you're on macOS, this file masking smartly falls back to a deny behavior, making sure you are still totally protected. Now, here is an absolutely crucial fix. If you care about local environment safety, definitely listen up. The dev team closed a bash tool permission check bypass. To translate the technical jargon, there was a bug that allowed the ZSH shell to execute hidden commands tucked away inside regex conditionals without ever triggering Claude Code's permission checks. No way, right? Well, that hidden backdoor is now firmly closed. Affected commands will prompt for your permission exactly as you'd expect. They also patched a similar issue in Windows PowerShell, where paths containing quote characters were skipping those approval prompts. You are completely back in control of what runs on your machine. Section 3. Essential quality of life fixes. All right, we're going to pick up the pace here and run through a rapid-fire list of some really nice polish applied to the tool. Now, what's really interesting here is how they address those tiny daily friction points that drive us all crazy. First, model context protocol servers now actually connect properly before the first turn when running in print mode. Before, this bug caused the model to just spit out tool calls as literal text instead of actually running them. Second, and this is a big one, files you mentioned used to be silently dropped if you pressed escape to retract a prompt and then resubmitted it. Now, they safely survive the round trip. They also fixed the thinking toggle, so it no longer silently fails for the rest of a session if you started with it turned off. Web search throwing a 400 error at high effort, fixed. And finally, team and enterprise users will no longer get those super confusing messages about hitting an organizational spend limit when it was actually just their individual limit. Accuracy really matters, and these fixes definitely deliver it. Section 4, Workflow and Plugin Improvements. Let's head into our final core area, focusing on how the plugin ecosystem is maturing, because managing your local extensions just got a whole lot smoother, saving you time and keystrokes. The Claude Plugin Validate command now proactively warns you if a plugin name would be rejected by Claude Desktop's Managed Marketplace sync. Also, when you run /plugin install, the system is finally smart enough to refresh a stale catalog before it incorrectly tells you a plugin wasn't found. And honestly, the best part? Plugins installed via the slash command now activate instantly when it's safe to do so. You no longer have to manually type /reload plugins to get back to work. And for those of you managing complex prompt engineering, you'll want to take note of this addition. There is a brand new prompt audit subcommand available over in the Claude API skill. This little utility is specifically designed for auditing prompts and reviewing tool descriptions that were written for older models, making sure your legacy configurations are actually optimized for the current AI capabilities.
Section 5. Conclusion and next steps.
While we've covered a lot of ground in this explainer today, if you want to dig even deeper into the edge cases specific to your operating system, or just dive into the full technical specs, here's where you need to go. Visit claudemaster.net for the complete manual and more plain English breakdowns of every single release. And of course, you can always check out the Claude Code GitHub repository for the raw complete changelog. We are clearly watching a transition from raw experimental capabilities into a phase of secure, polished, and enterprise-ready workflows. Version 2.1.221 isn't just a dry version number. It's a huge statement about the rapid maturation of AI coding assistance, which leaves us with one final thought to reflect on. With all these new guardrails and quality of life improvements locking things down, how will your trust in agentic AI tooling evolve today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep building.